Welcome back, you wonderful people. We're here with the second set of Sirenia versus Sovereign. We're right now seeing once again Dub on the killer, but this time we're playing Plague. Always a fun set. Uh, fun. I mean, we're seeing a bit of a interesting setup on the top side of the map with a very disgusting 4-gen, which I assume we're going to be playing for. And we see Juani here playing so aggro to try to cross. I mean, it is the No Mither survivor, so it does make Sorry, I lagged. I didn't see what happened. We're just gonna be continuing this chase onto Claudette here, who has reached the bottom side of the map, miraculously. I don't know how they got here. That's always good to see. You want to take the chase as far away from top as possible, since that is our 4-gen. Plague turning a little bit schizo. The Survivor wait, I think they just left a lot earlier. Which, yeah, that's well played by them. We see them up on the hill, which might indicate balanced landing. We did see that the survivors started this gen a little bit ago already, since they got infected. We saw that on our bar on the left. We're just taking chase onto these Burger King tile, expecting the all to back, but it doesn't matter. And yeah, we're just gonna leave this chase. There's not really any reason to commit to the bottom side of the map, as long as we don't have our 4 stacks of Fanatophobia, which Dub is definitely playing for right now. I mean, that extra gen regression speed, or not gen regression speed, just slower gen working speed on 4 stacks is so massive. And even if it isn't like the best gen regression, even just the mental boom survivors have of seeing that gigantic red bar and not seeing the generator progress go up is also just enough for the survivors to usually cleanse at least one person, which probably is the correct play. Quite a bit of progress on this top mid-gen. Survivors are playing it very aggro, but Corrupt has actually already fallen, which means we could start playing a little bit slower. I mean, Plague took a Corrupt Purge early. I think it's good play, but we don't actually catch anyone off guard. We're just kicking generators right now, and we need to get this down as long as we have our Purge going. We also took double Apple, not duration, which means we can we have a lot less time to work with right now, but it does mean we have more options. I mean, it's a crazy pool spawn we have as well. We have all of our pools on the top side of the map on our 4-gen, which is kind of unheard of. This is really good RNG, but Survivor doing such a great job dodging these pukes. And we're just going to be breaking the pallet, and I think that is our Corrupt Purge gone already, our first Corrupt. Tap is still healthy, which means we're still not... Oh, nice dodge. The tree is perfectly placed. And yeah, that's our Corrupt Purge. We are at least going to get our 4th stack of Fanatophobia here. Once we infect them, maybe we go for the M1, maybe we just commit onto this survivor we saw getting back on this gen. So yeah, both other survivors are just splitting bottom gens right now. Because even though this 4-gen is super important to break, we're not in a huge hurry to break it right now, since we don't have anyone on the hook. Like, once people start getting hooked, once we start being put on a timer, at that point, you realize it's kind of too late, and we need to get at least one generator gone. But if the survivors do such a great job, as they've been doing so far in this trial, they make sure no one gets hooked top, and they are just completely chilling. Yeah, Tap is still not injured. We make these windows mid-map a little bit more puke. This might mean they get infected soon. We might just go for the Bloodlust. Playing these connected window tiles, this is quite dangerous, because if we die on these windows, it does mean we'll get hooked top, but we M1 just before they get fully infected. 2 generators bottom are popping. We see a survivor who is actually cleansing right now, so we can get rid of that Fanatophobia. I think the best course of action here would be the healthy survivor stays bottom and tries to work that last generator we have remaining, while the rest of the team just play aggro for those top gens, because we need to break that gen split, and we're, I think, quite far bottom right now. I think it's a little bit dangerous. We're committing a chase onto someone in this area where we still have a lot of resources up. We still have a jungle gym, and we should almost always be able to make shack window and shack pallet from it. So yeah, for that reason, Dub is just going to be choosing to leave this. This top mid gen is so high progress now. We need to play for the eruption. It was already kicked before main is kicked as well. So once we get this first down, it's going to be a good bit of regression. God pallet free dropped from very far away. I feel like this might have been a little bit unnecessary, especially since this is a completely dead zone pallet. That's quite unfortunate. I feel like our best course of action would have just been to waste some extra time on the pallet before dropping it. Maybe playing for a stun or something, but yeah, this is sadly gonna be the first down, but it's still such a good early game. from Team Sovereign, but Pain Res will definitely be coming out before that generator top gets popped. And we're just instantly gonna take our Corrupt Purge, just securing this hook, I suppose. And probably what Dub is gonna do here is we're gonna stay in between this generator and this hook the whole time. Yeah, the gen is regressing, so it's just slowly going down to 0. And this gen on 10 is also 0. It means all the generators on main side are either regressing or don't have any progress on them. The fast unhook does come through. Someone stealthed, I think through 3, or maybe they stealthed around the main. That is a very good job either way, because if we leave that survivor to hang there, it's probably just a guaranteed 4k1. Split is not going to be breakable in the 3v1. Yeah, Corrupt Purge is not over yet though, so Pampuki is just forced to run away from top as much as they can, but they make anything bottom, and we're just going to be getting hooked top once again. Oh, but the Survivor actually got on this gen immediately, and we are going to be able to pop it. That is honestly such a good trade. We trade 1 extra health state onto Pampuki or Tunnel Out, but we do pop one of these, probably the most important generator for it. That is a very good job. Yeah, right now Dub is a little bit of a scarier situation. We only have 1 Corrupt Purge remaining on the top side, which, ooh, I was gonna say, it looks like we might try to grab that now, but we actually come to figure out this generator has quite a lot of progress as well. Unhook coming out, since we committed all the way behind main, that probably means Pampuki is gonna be able to go make all the way bottom and cleanse somewhere bottom, since if they get found and die now, it's pretty much over. But as long as they stay healthy and they're able to not give the killer the Fanatophobia, but they can hopefully work some generators at some point, should be fine here for the Survivor side. Dub actually committing all the way bottom. We saw at least 2 survivors, but we didn't see all the survivors. We know at least someone is still top. So Claudette is just going to be working that main generator while we're all the way at 5. We hopefully have a Pain Res, but... Okay, yeah, we do... Wait, no, we do not have a Pain Res. All our Pain Reses are top as well. This is some crazy stuff with hit RNG. I mean, we have every single Corrupt Purge top, we have a 4-gen top, but kind of in retaliation to that, the survivors have some decent RNG. We have 2 jungle gyms and a couple of decent pallets and god pallets placed as well. But yeah, we obviously just have to leave this hook. They get to unhook whenever they want, because we have to commit back the top. We have a Corrupt Purge for another like half a minute now. This generator is already 99. That is very close to popping, but luckily we just get to kick it and camp it for a little bit longer, as long as we still have our power. And not sure, we maybe get a little bit of lag there. Yeah, as expected, Pampuki is the one to cleanse, since they are our Death Hook survivor. But this survivor Claudette did not make any distance on main. They were kind of stuck here. We did see them vault earlier when we kicked the gen as well. Yeah, we are probably just going to be dying here. I believe that is life, so if we dodge this puke, that might be really good. But yeah, I see we're ready here for the hit tanks, but we're not going to be hit tanking a Plague and Power. I'm not entirely sure I would expect that to work, but luckily the life actually managed, gave Claudette the option to make all the way mid-map, which, I mean, I guess it bought us a little bit of time, but we are still hooking on main. There's not much we can do about that. And it is a pain as the survivors are so desperately trying to pop this gen, but we did not get far enough away, and the gen regression comes through. Pampuki trying to go for the instant pull, and that is so risky because now Dub is on them. Pallet Stundle coming out, really well played. And I believe that was smash hit as well, so they make it very far away right now. But we did see someone else who was trying to rotate away from this main side of the map. We catch them off guard a little bit too much, and yeah, it looks like we are just gonna go for this hook. It is also another Pain Res if we manage to reach something. Yeah, every Pain Res on 10, that's gonna be very nice for us. Maybe even trying to make the Pain Res on main, that's definitely a way better hook. Yeah, okay, never know. It's pretty much the same thing. Maybe the hook on main is a little bit too far away. Not entirely sure if we could have made it or not, but the survivor here, we hear them as well. They were trying to get ready for that instant unhook, because right now survivors are playing as aggro as possible. This generator has been 99 for so long. It's been hit by eruption, I believe, twice and 2 or 3 pain reses. It's so painful. Some interesting gameplay. We're hit tanking for your local Jesus with Juani, because I believe Dwight was our last pain res, and instead Juani prefers to die here, making sure we don't get that last pain res we need onto main. Because this gen is now actually reaching its regression limit. So if we were able to get another pain res, that would have been the most value possible from all those regression events, but now instead we're just forced to kick it with Eruption and hope it slowly regresses. But survivors are of course trying to keep playing aggro. This gen on 10 is still not being touched, and the gen on 1 is, I believe, also not being worked. So yeah, survivors are just completely focusing on main, which, I mean, I'm not sure if it's the best option, but you also don't really have many other options because the gen on 10 and the gen on 1 are complete dead zones. You can't do anything if the killer comes there unless you have either SB or pretty much just SB. You can maybe make something, but even then, you're probably just gonna die. Laska going onto the second hook as well. We now have 3 different survivors. Death hook, and 2 of the survivors are still on the hook. We see both survivors on main. Realize the last survivor cleansed somewhere bottom, which means they're probably going to be the one to go for the pull. Yeah, I mean, 2 survivors stuck on main. This main gen has been regressing for quite some time now. We didn't get to stop that regression, and yeah, we're very, very close to Pump Buki here. This is not the position you want to be in for Team Sovereign, and it's looking more like a 4k1 as time passes. Really so unfortunate. Yeah, we're dying right on top of the gen. We're just gonna Mori on it as well. Because, yeah, might as well. I mean, the other gens aren't touched. You might as well just stay as close as possible to this gen here. Yeah, I'm not sure what our survivor team bring to the table here. Like we have finally started working on one of the other generators as well. Dwight, sneaky Dwight, was healthy, started this gen on 10 with Deja, hoping to get as much progress as possible. Sadly, Dub does figure it out. So we get the puke, we get the infection, and I believe we'll just go for an M1. Alright, we could even go for a bit of an M2 puke gameplay, but Dub is not interested at all. Instead, we're just going to be going back to our other gens, because the main gen, even though it regressed quite a lot, the scary thing is that we can't really kick it anymore. I believe we're on max regression defense, which means any progress the survivors get now is infinite progress. But, I mean, it doesn't really matter if your progress stays, if you're in a 2v1. I mean, we can just commit whoever is near main. Nothing is really gonna happen. Like, worst case scenario for a killer player right now, we commit a little bit too long on one survivor, and they managed to pop this last generator, but it's still gonna be a 4k0, which is still a good result for Plague for sure. Survivors actually stacking the gen on 10! Oh my god, I did not expect this gen to be high enough to do this type of play, but it works out. Survivors just barely making it a 4k0 because we went for the Mori. And once again, the Mori coming out to actually help out the survivors, because the Mori animation takes so long. That's quite unfortunate for Dove Moon, but still definitely a result you can be happy with. The start was looking a little bit scary. We went the entire Corrupt without any downs, and then we popped multiple
Welcome back.
We are here with Local Jesus on the Plague. We're seeing a pretty standard build. Only the only changes we have seen right now is Agitation instead of Phanetophobia, which it's a pretty good option of a perk. You know, I've talking a lot about 3 gens and 4 gens and dying in the right location. Agitation just kind of counters that a little bit more. Even if we get downed all the way, like bottom mid or like next to the logs right here, we can still carry it all the way top, all the way to main, where we want those precious little hooks. Survivors there, and they don't go anywhere. All yours. But yeah, we're also seeing Duration add-on instead of the second Corrupt Purge. See, actually, Tori already getting on Gen's top side. That's quite aggressively. Usually you would expect survivors to stay stealthed a little bit longer. You can always even choose to just wait out Corrupt against the Plague. It's a common strategy. I've even seen some goofy goobers just sending 4 people into the basement and hiding there until Corrupt's over. But no, instead we are playing it more aggro. We catch them on the main building. Hopefully we're going to be able to get a couple of resources out of the way on this side of the map first chase, but no! Tori instead just sending it mid-map. I will play with some scratches on 3. We see another survivor here trying to cross from 9, but they have not been able to cross yet. For now, we are just committing this chase because we don't have the extra at... Okay, Rocket Mind Games. Rocket Mind Games! Okay, sadly. Work. Well, it's actually force a survivor to piggy away to this slightly unsafer tile. I hope we have the check spots because we have to try to reach that pallet again. And it does look like we reach it, but we aren't gonna have to die on it, which means maybe a survivor is nearby for a pallet save. Flashlight save, even better. We're reserving the very, very important jungle gym pallet this way. That's a great job by the survivor team. And like, quickly it's a tech. We get rid of corrupt by having a survivor die early as well. So that's always nice to see. Now we see another injured survivor all the way on main. We're just committing the chase a little bit longer, trying to mind game main. Of course, doesn't work out, but we do get rid of this pallet. And yeah, we're with this chase a little bit longer. Yeah, we're just playing Trapper. It's ladder, Trapper free X. Chase as long as they stay top. But again, Survivor's doing a great job reaching the opposite side of the map, and they're just gonna be forced to leave that chase because of it. Any chase that goes bottom, we cannot really commit at this point because we've already committed so much time trying to set up for our top 4 gen. Right now it's just kind of pointless to get any hooks bottom. Especially because we do still have to play for a 4K one. That is something you always gotta keep in the back of your head. We cannot really let all of the survivors pop all of these gens here. Okay, we're going away from our keyboard! Having a quick snack and a drink, and it works out as a mind game. That's always very unfortunate, but that will be our first down. And of course, with agitation, we easily make this nice top mid pain res. It's also next to the generator that's slightly progress, but it doesn't have that much progress. I'm not sure what generator that pain res is going to be hitting. It does look like it hit a bottom gen, which is not really what our plague wants, but we're just going to puke on this to make sure any survivors working these bottom gens still get infected. I don't think we'll be... We actually are in quite a good position here. I mean, this generator, even though it's bottom, we can still kind of patrol it and make sure the survivors can't do much. We're gonna go ahead and kick this gen as well. We're giving the survivors a little bit of free reign here. They could quite easily go and get the unhook right now, which does come through, of course. I mean, these survivors are kind of stuck on the top side of the map, though. We see on the left Renato getting back on the gen on 4. That is not going to be progressing any longer, and it should hopefully be popping sometime soon. Unless we get this corrupt purge here and we go for a quick down on main. Main pallet did already get dropped, but seeing someone catching off the rotation who tries to make bottom. But these stretch marks aren't that recent. Yeah, they've already gotten all the way to logs. And this Renato, I hope, also pre-left time. We see Shack gen popping, and we see a lot of different survivors on Shack. One survivor doing the main gen. We're obviously just going to be committing the chase on Shack. As long as we get this eruption, and yeah, that's very nice. So we get this eruption procs, we can hopefully see the survivor working the gen on 4, and we can try to hook on this. But I'm not sure if I like this game plan, because right now, even though we're stopping these important generators on the bottom, they're both quite high progress, but these aren't really the generators we're supposed to be playing for. Survivors are going to probably be able to easily pop main this way and break that important 4 gen on the top side of the map. Yeah, we can kind of get this unhook whenever we want. Now this generator on 4 is just going to get kicked, and it's going to start regressing a lot, because we don't have any survivors to work this. This generator on 9 mid has to be worked, the generators on top have to be worked, someone has to go for the unhook. Survivors just have way too many things on their plates right now, which might prove a little bit too difficult, especially considering we are on this timer. We only have 3 generators remaining, or we still have 3 generators remaining, and we only have around 30 seconds left on Dub Moon's hook timer, which, considering we just got a corrupt purge, I was gonna say we're not gonna be able to unhook them, but we got there just in time. That is so important. Our tunnel also reaches Shack, which is somewhere local Jesus does not want to go right now. He thinks that time spent is just too valuable. They still have the Shack pallet, they still probably have a pallet around 7 or 8, and the jungle gen. But just too much time waste, and this gen on 1, it's close to... It's high progress, this gen is close to popping, gen on 9 is close to popping. Survivors are just doing such a good job spreading the pressure. And even though we are going to get a free down here, I hope with power, actually make the pallet. This might last a little bit longer. Oh, that is a really nice use of the power, you can see. Jesus, I've probably played a more Plague than me. I would just get run on this pallet for way too long and try to M1 it and get stunned in the face, but do get it down. Generator, however, is so high progress. We could just go and dry kick this to make sure it's regressing. Local Jesus instead waiting for the eruption because he realizes both of these gens are high progress and he cannot really let either of them pop. That gen on 9 will probably also be popping sometime soon. Yeah, we're just going to be trying to get this eruption procced on both of them. Our Corrupt Purge is already over. That is bad news. We don't even have everyone injured right now. This Survivors team has kept someone healthy this entire time, and they're just playing hyper aggro for these generators. We see someone is already in position for the pull. We see someone has been in position to pressure this gen on 2 this whole time, and they have, of course, max distance around the water tower, so they should hopefully be able to make something. We need to get a fast vault on this. Okay, it doesn't matter. I mean, we hit the fast vault anyways, but look at just wasn't expecting. I'm not sure what that mind game was, but it works out perfectly. Because he's just too scared to hook it. Gen on 10 is so high progress, but I believe this is still a pain res, so we have to try and go for it. That pain res on top mid air is so important. We get a lot more regression, we get a lot more pressure by having this be in the middle of both of these gems. And I don't know what to do here. I mean, it's looking like any mess up from the Survivor side could still lead into a 4K1, but so much pressure. That bottom gen surely has to be popping anytime soon now. We have 2 different survivors pressuring this top side of the map. So quite high progress. This gen is super high progress, so we cannot let them get this unhook at any point in time. This unhook would probably just mean we lose, even though we have a free gen top. Yeah, we are still in the 4v1. We have way too much progress and running out of kicks as well on the gen. Yeah, the unhook comes out for free. Not really for free. The survivor was already injured. I forgot about that, and we're just gonna cycle this hook. I mean, we get another eruption event. No, wait, dub was death hook. Wait, I wasn't paying attention. I'm not sure about this. Wait, this is making it dangerous for the survivor side. This means we're actually in the 3v1, and these gens have been regressing this whole time. C was hooked in the middle of them, and we're getting another free down because most of the pallets on this map have already been used. We don't have this jungle gym pallet. We don't have any fillers close to the mid side of the map. Just taking the hook on free here, because of course that hook on top mid is dead for, I believe, a couple of minutes when someone got sacrificed on. Quite unfortunate. Now we are spotting out Sneaky Claudette, who has been doing this top gen all the way in the corner of 11 for quite an extended period of time. Trying to mind game main a little bit, going for a bit of ascended puke, but Claudette is not even looking behind them. They have reached all the way to water tower, and they are gone. Now I feel like what we have to do is just make sure we don't give any value for this Corrupt Purge, which, it's annoying. I mean, we have progress on this gen on free, but we have to just let that go, because if we try to pressure anything right now with this Corrupt Purge active, we're just gonna die. We're gonna give them another hook. We're gonna give only just 4K1 to local Jesus, which is exactly what they need to win this set. Or what the plan of the survivor side is. Yeah, it does look like they're going to be cleansing bottom, which is a pretty deep option. I mean, we need to be able to put progress on these generators. They're all almost close to 0, and if you're all injured, it's very hard to get any progress. But we are just cleansing bottom, but local Jesus catches out 2 different survivors bottom, and we're just going to instantly take this purge while those generators are still low progress. We can hopefully force the survivors to rotate to the top side as we're going back there, because if they stay bottom, it might mean we're able to stack the gen and pop it in time, but if we force all the survivors top, we can get a hook close in gen again. Survivor gen on 10 got worked on a little bit. Any survivors? Claudette actually stealth for it right immediately, able to get on it anytime. Both the other survivors were around water tower. Yeah, we're just playing a sneaky game right now, but we do catch them off guard. And we're playing the short side of the God Rock, which is probably the best option since the killer can't really use their power much. Kind of rely on M1 movement and winning the 50 on when you drop the pallet, but we're choosing to leave it. And oh no, we actually take the so good ascend all the way to 4, but Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be lasting much longer. That will be down in another eruption. I know this is looking worse and worse by the second. It's looking more like a 4K1. We're just racking up those hook stages. We're already on 6. This is our 7th hook. And both of these gens are just back to 0. I can't believe it. They were both so high progress at some point. Now we get even another pain res. And I mean, yeah, the survivors are cleansing, but I don't think that's gonna help us so much. Because we're still forced to go for this unhook at some point. Still forced to touch these gens and get infected right again. This is very grim. Not entirely sure what to do at this point. Only thing the Survivor team has going for them is that they actually still have a lot of resources up. I kind of misspoke on that. I thought they dropped more pallets, but we still have... Oh, that is not the sneaky Tori we needed. Catch them off guard. Renato is trying to just rotate to any gen that they can work. Probably rotating towards 11, since it's the safest gen to work while the Survivor is on the hook here. But yeah, I mean, we know where Tori is. We force the chase onto them. No, we're not doing the gen. We get the infection, which we just start running through pallets. I'm not even interested in continuing the chase here. We're just gonna try to make sure Renato doesn't sneakily get by and get the unhook. That would have been very, very bad. But once the second stage is confirmed, which is right now, yeah, we could just commit to any chase we want, and preferably, definitely, chase on 11. This is the only gen that has any progress on it. This is still a gen we're able to apply Eruption to, but best of all, I was gonna say this is a palette that's very zonable, but it doesn't even matter. We get a nice mind game, and Z will be landing back on the ground, getting hooked. Yeah, I was gonna say just hook. We're just getting hooked right here on the gen. Gonna get a nice kick in before we commit back to our other survivors who, I'm not sure, maybe they're stacking a gen. No, they're not stacking. We actually send Moon all the way 7. That's I just want you to realize that's like half a marathon. We just ran from top mid back to 7, a cleanse, and then we have to run back to top mid so we can get any gen progress. This is, yeah, this is sadly just not efficient enough, and we're feeling the pain of the 3v1 against Plague, where we need to be either more careful and need to make sure we don't get into this 3v1, or we have to have a lot more progress to begin with. I mean, had the progress, but we couldn't keep it. We kind of slipped up and let the Plague just let all of these gens regress. And now the 4K1 is pretty much guaranteed. I don't think any survivor has been able to get close to the pool just yet. No, we're instead just starting the gen on 2, which is completely 0%. And I mean, Boone is actually trying to sneak in for the pool, but yeah, that's a Plague. She is face camping. Is not interested in leaving. He doesn't care. I mean, she knows the gen isn't popping anytime soon. Even if they're stacking, they would need to work it for around 45 seconds, which that time has not passed yet. So Local Jesus gets that second death in the free gen. Now we just get to commit any chase we want, which... Okay, I was gonna say it's not over yet. We need to lock in and get our ladder brain activated, but get mind gamed on the pallet gym, and we get eruption proc as well. So even though we're slow walking, that doesn't really help us. We even see them through the door slightly. We know they're behind main, and I think we're starting our very last chase of the game here. It's such a turn of events. This means that if we get this down and we get the 4K1, both teams have won the opposite team's sets, which is usually something you don't see. I mean, usually the set you pick, the set you're most comfortable in, that's the set you're expecting to win. And then, like, even if the opponent wins their set, you play for a tiebreaker and hope that you're just better than the team in a more general killer. Now we're seeing both teams, they have the gameplay, they have the macro and the teamwork to even win in the opponent's team set and look very comfortable at what they're doing. Which, you know, I'm very happy to see that. I'm quite impressed. And yeah, Moon, Bloodlust does come in, so he'll be going down onto the ground. That will result the 4K1 for Local Jesus. Very well played.